Terrible week for Sunderland as they lose back-to-back games to get a bit of a gap between themselves and the automatics. Is there still hope for the Mackhams? We'll take a little look next. That's right, folks, back once again with another Prediction Show today. We're taking a look at match number 42 over in League One, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, stop what you're doing, swallow what you're chewing, smash your subscribe, get your bang out today with all things League One related, Blackburn Rovers related, football related. We got a lot here, boys. Under one Rooski, of course. Some teams have only got 5 games left to play. I believe I'm looking at them. Other teams, of course, who knows? Who bloody knows? As, of course, the season is coming to a close. Quick time. We'll take a look at the latest round of picks in just a second. Of course, a big shout out to the VIP Band of Brothers. I'm talking about the Patreons, boys. Thank you for your continued support as we try to kick on this season and, of course, into the next year. So here we go, boys. Let's take a look at what I'm talking about. Of course, we had a whole bunch of games to recap, and we're going to go through them bit by bit. So here we go. Take a look back at my picks first, kicking all the way back to, when was it? It was Saturday the 10th of April, 5-1 win for Wimbledon. Goodness gracious me. Over actually Stanley. Goals from Ollie Palmer with a brace. Abiyo Assal, Joe Piggott on the score sheet. Assal got a couple as well. Michael Nottingham, on the score sheet, of course, Accrington giving them a consolation goal. Ben Hannigan got himself sent off for Wimbledon as they lost. Terrible one there. Another big smash in here. Crewe got themselves handed to a plate. 6-0 loss by Oxford, who might want to like a late push for the top 6. Josh Ruffles, James Henry, Brandon Barker, Elliot Moore, Cameron Bannigan, and Sam Winnell. 6 different scores as Oxford ran riot over Crewe Alexandra. 2-1 for me. Shame on me. My Doncaster Rovers against Wigan Athletic. A big win for Wigan as well. Goodness gracious me. Where's that come from? New owners, new belief. Maybe just stay in this division. And of course, build from next year. Joseph Dodo, Theodore Alsgaard, Viv Solomon Octobar, and of course, Will Keane on the score sheet for, of course, Wigan. Taylor Richards get himself a consolation goal for Doncaster, whose season is falling apart. Fleetwood Town, though, big winners over Rochdale. They needed that, didn't they? 1-0 win for Fleetwood. Egan O'Connell with a big fat OG giving Fleetwood the win. Gillingham at Shrewsbury, of course, ended up 0-0. Nothing to report here. Actually, one with the 1-1, so not too shabby there. Ipswich Town also ended 0-0 against the MK Dons. 2-0 for me. Lincoln City, 2-2 draw against Blackpool, of course, as Blackpool try to keep on their belief with, of course, playoff push, or maybe more. Ella Sims on the score sheet. Sully Kakai as well. Anthony Scully and Brendan Johnson getting on the score sheet, but of course, Lincoln. But of course, 2 points split right down the middle. And I think Blackpool will be really happy. Northampton Town against Bristol Rovers also ended all square. 1-1, of course, Joey Barton's boys. Luke Leahy on the score sheet. Sam Hoskins with a penalty spot, giving Northampton a share of the spoils. 1-0 win for me for Bristol. Meanwhile, Plymouth Argyle did lose to Hull. Smashed of course, 3-0 win for Hull. Keane, Lewis Potter, Josh McGuinness and Greg Doherty on the score sheet, even Hull the win. Actually went with the 2-2 draw, but of course I was wrong. Portsmouth against Burton, another win for Burton. Goodness gracious me. They're on playoff form right now, but of course they're too far gone from that. Mike Funden, Tallum on the score sheet, Joe Powell as well. Charlie Daniels getting on the goal score sheet for Portsmouth again. Their season is wobbling at the moment, but not as bad as Sunderland. A bit of a wobble as well. 2-1 loss to Charlton. Of course, Nigel Atkins boys keep on believing as well. Of course, the Mackhams lose on this one. 2-1 loss there. Goals coming from for Charlton was Josh Gowan, big for OG, Alex Gibley as well. Josh Gowan also scored at the right end, of course, giving Sunderland a bit of hope. Unfortunately, too little, too late. Swindon Town got beat by Peterborough, of course, who kept their automatics alive. Sedike Dembele with a couple of goals there. Johnson Clark Harris as well, giving Peterborough all 3 points to give themselves a big old push. Of course, kicking on forward into the midweek games just the other day. What do we have here? Wimbledon followed up that 5-1 win with a 3-0 win over Ipswich. Will Nightingale, Jack Rodoni and Ryan Longman giving Wimbledon a bit of hope down the foot of the table. 3-0 win for them, 1-0 loss. 1-0 win for Ipswich for me, but I got it wrong. Meanwhile, Oxford again, big winners before. Another big win for them. This time scoring, 10 goals in just 2 games. Robert Atkinson, Elliot Lee, Matty Taylor, Sam Long on the score sheet. Harry Chapman, of course, Rover getting the goal for, of course, Shrewsbury, but of course, too little, too late. I didn't call that one, so because I got it all mixed up. Meanwhile, Blackpool up against actually it was a 0-0 draw. Probably a couple of points dropped there by Blackpool. Meanwhile, Doncaster also got themselves spanked by Burton, of course, Lucas Atkins, of course, Thomas Hamer, and of course, Hayden Hayden Carter even, Charter to his mates, of course, 3-0 win for Burton. Goodness gracious me, I actually went with the Burton win as their season is just tremendous end. Meanwhile, Crewe against Portsmouth drew 0-0, nothing to report here, actually went with the 1-1 draw. Meanwhile, Wigan, again, another win for them, 2-1 win over Sunderland. Will Keane, Callum Lang, and Scotty Charlie White getting them want to go for Sunderland. The first goal in a while for Charlie White. like. I actually went with Sunderland on this one, but I got it wrong. Meanwhile, Rochdale also 2-1 win as well. Jimmy Cojones. Conor Grant, of course. Jordan Gaddick on the score sheet for, of course, Swindon. Not good enough there. 1-1 for me. And Lincoln City against Milton Keynes. 4-0 win for Lincoln, as of course they get themselves back into winning ways. Brenton Johnson with a hat-trick, of course. Andrew Fisher, ex-Rovers keeper there, with a big fat OG. As you see, I got myself 3-6. Pretty shit. This is what the table looks like at the moment. I want to have a look at this myself. Of course, Hull look pretty good at the moment. Of course, 3 points clear over Peterborough, basically 8 points clear over Sunderland at the moment. So they look nailed on to go back to the Championship, which I thought we would do there. Hopefully, Sunderland continue to drop points. Lincoln back up in there in 4th now. Blackpool in 5th and Portsmouth in 6th. Oxford, though, not too far away. Neither are Charlton. Ipswich, I think it might be a season too soon for them to make a push. And then realistically, I think Gillingham, Accrington, Doncaster, all those guys down there, I think they're all. I think it's all a bit too late for them, really. So I'm looking at maybe 9th upwards. Are still in the old playoff push. I think if you're a Gillingham fan and Accrington Stanley fan, maybe you might think there's some hope left. And Doncaster have a little bit of hope as well, potentially with the game in hand, because if they win that, they could go up to 60 points. So yeah, it's still a little bit confusing. But realistically, I think it's 9th and up are still in it. 9th and up. As for the foot of the table, though, right here, right now, Rochdale, Swindon, Bristol Rovers and Northampton Town are going down. Rochdale have a game in hand, win that, and they could go as high as 22nd. What do we think about that? I think Wimbledon is still in it. Burton look good right now. Shrewsbury look okay with a game in hand. If I could pick and choose, no disrespect, is it 4 teams that go down? I think it is. I would go Rochdale, Swindon, Northampton and Wimbledon, I would say, but who knows? Who bloody knows? Anyway, that's, of course, the table. Let's take a look at your picks then, shall we? Here we go. This is the deal. Of course, big points on the offering for everybody. Anna Rana did shite. Of course, Game Chai also did shite. AJ24 also did pretty poop, but he did all right. STSC Chenko also did good. Oliver Army not too poop. He did poopity poopity. Of course, James BCFC, our great, he did poop. And Leeds 21 also did very, very well. Photo 77 did poop. Russell Frost, though, I did a double, of course, so he did all right. Jonathan Sandham also did very, very good. Yannick Buster did poop. Okay, did okay. I must give you a fair play to you, brother. Of course, Vincent Ong also did good. And Joachim Jackson also had a nightmare as well. Forever Football PFC did poop. And Chris Hayne also did shite. Of course, let's take a look at the table. How about that then? Of course, yeah, if your name's Chris Hayne or Oliver Army or Forever Football, you did. Shocker. And as for Russell Frost, kicking ass and taking names. As for me, I would have been sitting in there nicely in 6th spot. But what about the overall table? Frosty's already in control here. He's just put a bit more control of it at the top of the table. That's right. 209 points right here, right now. 13 points clearance. Is that right? 13 points clearance over Joachim Jackson, who's in 2nd spot. So fair play for you guys, of course. Yeah, big win for Frosty this week. 5 points on Joachim Jackson. Or words to that effect. But anyway, there's still points on the offering. And again, I've just recorded the League 2 picks. A bit of a disclaimer for heading into the next couple of matches. Of course, I will not be able to update the leaderboards for the next round of matches, for the next picks. I will be, of course, keeping score, and we will bring you up to date with those picks in due time. But because of the quickness of these games that are coming right around the corner, I don't have much time to do all the stuff. So we're going to, next time you see me in League 1, we're just going to kind of maybe gloss over the scores briefly, but then just jump straight into it, because there's too many games next week. We're talking about all the English leagues, all the major European leagues are all doubling up, so it's going to be quite manic. But I'll bring you up to date with those picks when we get around, so just bear with me. Anyway, kicking on forward though, we're going to take a look at Peterborough up against Northampton Town. Of course, play each other the last 6, of course, 5 wins for Peterborough, 1 win for Northampton, no draws. Last round in Peterborough was a 2-0 win for Peterborough back in, of course, April 2018. Jack Baldwin on score sheet, Jack Marriott as well. Ash Taylor getting himself sent off for Northampton. Of course, Peterborough kept a clean sheet in 9 matches against Northampton in all comps. They've also won 8 of the last 9 matches against Northampton as well. Northampton have actually failed to win their last 14 away matches in League 1, of course, and they'll scramble here. Just 1 win in the past 4 games for Northampton, that was against Shrewsbury. Meanwhile, just 1 defeat past 6 for Peterborough, that was against Blackpool. 3-1 loss at Bloomfield Road. Of course, bookies odds on this one. What do we have on this one then? We've got Peterborough 29 on for the victory, 16-5 is your draw, 50-2 is your Northampton, of course, taking place on Friday the 16th of April. Of course, Northampton in the relegation zone at the moment, but a win for them, they can move up to 19th. Of course, Peterborough are second. A win for them, they could go top at least for 24 hours. I'm going to go with a 3-1 for Peterborough, another 3 points in the back, 3 goals as well, maybe top. We'll see about that. Next, of course, Blackpool up against Sunderland. Of course, played each other the last 5, 1 win for Blackpool, 2 for Sunderland, and 2 draws. Last round at Blackpool was a 1-win for Sunderland, back in New Year's Day 2019. Josh Major on score sheet for Sunderland, giving them the win. Also, a picture though this is at the Stadium of Light back in December. It was a 1-1 draw. Of course, heading into this, Blackpool undefeated in the last 15 home matches in League One. They come into this though without a defeat in at least 6 games, picking up in fact back-to-back games without a win though, back-to-back draws for them. Meanwhile, Sunderland just 1 win in the past 4 games. That was against Oxford. Quite a few games back-to-back defeats for them as well. Look at the bookies odds. Blackpool 17-10 for the victory, 13-8 is your Sunderland, 11-5 is your draw. Sunderland coming to this in third. A win for them, they could close in on second. Blackpool are in fifth. A win for them, they can move closer. They can actually get up to fourth and maybe even breathe down Sunderland's neck. 2-2 draw here, point split right in the middle. And I think I don't know, Blackpool will be the happy. Next, of course, Bristol Rovers. Taking on, of course, who are we? Lincoln City. Played to the last 6 out of 6 for Bristol Rovers over Lincoln City. Played to last time around in Bristol. Was a 2-0 win, of course, in the National League Premier League back in 2015. Goodness gracious me. Lee Brown, Nathan Blissett on the score sheet, giving Bristol Rovers the win. Also, played to this season in Lincoln. It was a 2-1 win for Bristol back in October this season. Heading into this, Bristol Rovers back-to-back games without a defeat, which is good. Of course, picked up 4 points out of a possible 6. Meanwhile, just 1 win the past 6 games for Lincoln. That was against MK Dons. 4-0 win as well for Bristol Rovers. For Lincoln. Heading into this though, 95 for Bristol Rovers, 23-10 is your draw, 29-10 is your Lincoln. Lincoln coming to this, of course, in fourth. A win for them, they can close it in on third. As for Bristol Rovers, they are in the relegation zone, but a win for them, they can move up to 20th at the expense of Wigan. Going to go with a 1-1 draw in here, and I think maybe Bristol Rovers will be the happier. Burton Albion up against who are we? Plymouth Argyle, of course, played to the last 6. 2 wins for Burton, 1 for Plymouth, 3 draws. Last round in Burton was a 1-1 draw back in December 2018. Goals coming from Willie Miller on the score sheet, Ruben Lamerdes on the score sheet for Plymouth back in the day. Also, played though this is in October back in Plymouth. There was a 2-0 win for Plymouth, of course, giving them the 3 points. Plymouth have actually lost the last five of the last 6 away matches in League One, as Burton have actually won the last 3 matches heading into this. They're actually unbeaten in the last 4, picking up a draw as well against Accrington. Meanwhile, back-to-back defeats for Plymouth have them scrambling. Played 2, conceded 6, scored 0. Of course, heading into this one, Burton at even Stevens to the victory, 11-4 is your Plymouth, 12-5 is your draw. Plymouth coming to this in 16th, but a win for them, they can move up to 14th. Burton are actually in 17th, and win for them, they can move above Plymouth into 16th, and then of course end the season looking very, very good. 2-1 win for Burton, make it 4 wins on the spin. Charlton Athletic up against Ipswich Town, both two sides looking for playoffs. Of course, both outside the playoffs at the moment. Of course, a win could get them in. Played to the last 6, 2 wins apiece, 2 draws. Smells like a draw already. Played to the last round in Charlton was a 3-0 win for Ipswich back in 2015. Goals from Daryl Murphy with a couple of goals there. Freddie Sears as well. Also, played to this is at Portman Rovers, a 2-0 win for Charlton. Albie Morgan, and of course Omar Bogle on the score sheet, giving Charlton the win. Ipswich failed to score in 5 of the last 7 matches in League One. Charlton undefeated in the last 8 matches as well, whereas Ipswich have actually failed to win the last 6 on the road. Coming into this though, Charlton 4 wins in the past 6 games, and in fact unbeaten in the last 6. Meanwhile, just 1 defeat in the past 5 for Ipswich, and then 1 defeat was against Wimbledon, a 3-0 loss. Look at the bookies odds on this one. Charlton coming at you, 11-10 for the victory, 11-5 is your draw, 13-5 is your Ipswich. A win for Ipswich in 9th, they could go up as high as a 7th. A win for Charlton in 8th, they could go up as high as 5th, depending on goal swing and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to go with a 2-0 for Charlton at home, down the valley. Nigel Atkins doing the thing for Charlton Athletic. Next, of course, I have Hull City up against Fleetwood Town. Let's get into this one then, shall we? Played each other the last 3, 2 wins for Hull, 1 for Fleetwood. No draws last time around. In Hull was a 2-0 win in the FA Cup back in 2020. It was a 2-0 win for Hull. In fact, that wasn't the last time around. The last time around was in the Papa John's Trophy this season. It was a 3-2 win for Hull back in the day. Also, played though this season in Fleetwood was a 4-1 win for Fleetwood back in October. Heading into this, Hull are winning 8 of the last 10 matches in League One. Fleetwood keeping a clean sheet in 6 of the last 8 matches as well. Hull scoring at least 2 goals in 8 of the last 10 matches in League One as well. Coming into this, 3 wins on the spin for Hull. As for Fleetwood, 2 wins on the spin as well. Of course, back-to-back clean sheets as well. Looking very, very good at the moment. Of course, maybe a little bit too far gone for them. Bookies odds on this one, 7-4 on for Hull, and 14-5 is your draw, 5-1 is your long shots. That's Fleetwood. Fleetwood coming to this in 13th. With them, they can move up to 10th. As for Hull, they are first, and they'll be first if they get a draw or more. Going to go with a 3-1 win for Hull on this one to keep on believing that they're back in the Championship very, very soon. Next up, of course, MK Dons against Portsmouth. Played each other last 6, 1 for MK Dons, 4 for Portsmouth, 1 draw last round in MK. Stadium MK was a 3-1 win for MK Dons back in December 2019. Reece Healy on the score sheet, Conor McGrandles, Alex Gibley on the score sheet, Brendan Curtis getting the goal for Portsmouth. Last round in Pompey was back in October. It was a 2-1 win for Pompey as well. MK Dons failing to score though in the last 3 matches in League One. They come into this though, without a win in at least 3. As for Pompey, just 4 wins in the past 5 games. 4 wins in the past 6 games, should I say. But back-to-back games without a win as well. Have them floundering a little bit. Bookies odds on this one. MK Dons 9-5 for the victory, 31-20 is your Portsmouth, 9-4 is the draw. Portsmouth coming to in 6th, and with them they can move up to 4th. MK Dons are down to 14th, and with them they can move up to 11th in the table. I believe it'll be a 1-0 win for Portsmouth, and of course get back to winning ways. Next, of course, Rochdale up against Accrington. Stanley, of course, Rochdale need the win. Accrington, of course, flapping around a little bit. Played each other the last 6-5 wins for Rochdale, 1 for Accrington. No draws left around. In Rochdale was a 2-1 win. In Scotland, of course, Ian Henderson with a couple of goals there. Joe Pritchard and score sheet, of course, Accrington. Last time around, though, in Accrington was a 2-1 win for Accrington back in, of course, October this season. Heading into this, though, Rochdale just 1 win the past 5 games. That 1 win was against Swindon. Meanwhile, Accrington Stanley just 1 win the past 5 as well. That 1 was against Oxford quite a few games back at the Kazam. Look at the bookies odds on this one. Rochdale 70-10 for the victory, 23-10 is your draw, 31-20 is your Accrington. Accrington coming to this, of course, 11th, win for them, they can move up to 9th. Of course, Rochdale 24th, win for them, they can move up to 22nd. I think Rochdale might nick this one, 2-1 win for the boys. That's right. Next, of course, Shrewsbury Town up against Doncaster Rovers. Played each other last 6, 3 for Shrewsbury, 1 for Doncaster, 2 draws last time around. In Shrewsbury was a 1-win for Shrewsbury back in February 2020. David Edwards on the score sheet giving Shrewsbury the win. Also played each other this season at the Keep Moat was a 1-0 win for Shrewsbury as well. Doncaster have actually lost the last 5 matches in League One, conceding at least 2 goals in the last 3 matches as well. Coming into this, Doncaster losing 5 on the spin. Of course, last time they picked up a point was against Gillingham all the way back at the end of March. Meanwhile, just 1 win the past 5 games for Shrewsbury. That was a 3-0 win against Plymouth quite a few games back as well. Look at the bookies odds on this one. We have Shrewsbury coming at you 5-4 for the victory, 9-4 is your draw, 9-4 is also your Doncaster. Doncaster coming to this, of course, sitting in 12th, but with them they can move up to 9th. Shrewsbury all the way down to 18th, but with them they can move up to at least 16th for the table. I'm going to go with Bada bish, bada bosh. 2-1 for Shrewsbury, 3 points to the bag. Doncaster are free falling. Next, of course, we have Wigan Athletic up against Crewe. Alexandra, of course, Wigan still need the points on the board. Taking on Crewe, who are just kind of keep steady at the moment. Pretty sure the last 6 2 for Wigan, 3 for Crewe, 1 draw last time around. In the DW, was a 1-0 win for Wigan back in, of course, August 2015. Michael Jacobs on the score sheet giving Wigan the W. Also, pretty sure that though this season at Crewe was a 3-0 win back in October, giving Crewe the relief. Heading into this, though, Crewe just 1 win the past 4 games. That was against MK Dons on the road. Meanwhile, back-to-back wins for Wigan have them believing that they could stick around in this division for another season. Look at the bookies odds. Wigan 15-8 for the victory, 23-10 is your draw, 29-20 is your Crewe. Coming into this in 15th. A win for them, they can move up to 11th. As for Wigan, they're into 20th at the moment, but a win for them, they can move up to 19th in the table. I think Wigan will nick this one. 2-1 win in the end. Next up, of course, AFC Wimbledon taking on, of course, Swindon Town. Bit of a relegation 6-point of this badger, of course, heading into this. Played to the last 6, 2 wins for Swindon, 1 for Wimbledon, 3 draws last time around. In Wimbledon was a 0-0 draw back in October 2016. Of course, played to this season, and Swindon was a 1-0 win for Wimbledon back in the day. Swindon have actually lost 8 of the last 10 matches in League One. Swindon also conceded 2 goals in the last 4 matches. Heading into this, though, 4 defeats on the spin for Swindon have them flapping around. Meanwhile, back-to-back wins for Wimbledon have them believing that they might just do it. Of course, heading into this one, of course, bookies odds. What do we have on the bookies odds? Wimbledon. They come into this 23-20 for the victory. Of course, 11-5 is your away win. 23-10 is your draw. Going to go with a win on this one. Going with a point apiece on this one. Wimbledon 1, Swindon 1, and that point could potentially lift Wimbledon up. Well, nowhere really. As for Swindon, it doesn't do much favours for them. It kind of cancels each other out. Into the final one here, we have Oxford up against Gillingham. At the Kazan, played to the last 6, 2 wins apiece and 2 draws last round. In Oxford was a 3-0 win for Oxford back in, of course, September 2019. James Henry, Matt Taylor on the score sheet. Henry with a brace. Of course, they also played each other, though. This is at the Peace Fields, a 3-1 win for Gillingham. Van Dane Oliver, George Jacob Millis, and Jordan Graham on the score sheet with Daniel Agai getting the goal scoring sheet for Oxford. Heading into this, though, of course, Gillingham just won defeat the past 6 games for them. That was against Blackpool. Meanwhile, back-to-back wins for Oxford. Maybe, just maybe, a late push for them as well. Of course, look at the bookies odds on this one. What do we have on this one? Oxford 11-10 for the victory, 23-10 is your 13-5 is your Gillingham. Of course, a win for Oxford. Currently find themselves in 7th. They could sneak into the All playoffs up as high as 5th in the table. As for their opposition, Gillingham, they're in 10th, and a win for them, they can move up to as high as 7th, which could bump down Oxford. Going to go with a 2-0 win for Oxford on this one. 3 points in the bag, and I keep on moving on. Okay, if you've watched the League 2-1, then you know what I'm about to say. I don't have the updated table because I'm a little bit behind the times with these double headers. It's kind of the way it is at the moment with the season, how it all's panning out. I'm strapped for time to try and get it all in. But anyway, realistically, the biggest winners will be out of this one. Who would it be? I don't even know. Portsmouth, perhaps, remaining in the playoffs. As for Sunderland, of course, falling back a little bit. And, of course, down the foot of the table, who's your biggest winners? Probably Wigan as well, to get clear of that. But, of course, be sure to get your picks in for this one. And we'll do it all again very, very soon. And like I said earlier, we'll be doing it a little bit differently for the next week or so. As, of course, the games are coming thick and fast. As soon as there's a bit of a break in play, maybe we'll bring you up to date with, of course, post the latest round of the leaderboard. Until then, though, be sure to give the video some love and smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe. Check out the links down below on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course Patreon. If you want to support the channel in another way, it's the best place to do it. Until then, though, I'll see you soon. Till then, thumbs up, smash, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.